The Naked Spur is a 1953 Western that will remind a lot of viewers of Along the Great Divide. Jimmy Stewart plays a ruthless cowboy who corners a killer, played by Robert Ryan. In order to finally catch him, Stewart teams up with a prospector, played by Millard Mitchell, and a former Union soldier, played by Ralph Meeker. Once they catch Ryan, they find he has a girlfriend, played by Janet Leigh. Ryan also confesses to the two men that there's a big reward on his head. Stewart conveniently let Mitchell and Meeker assume he was a lawman, so that's why this is a surprise to them. Feeling cheated, the two men demand equal shares from the bounty, and Stewart unwillingly agrees. While trekking back to the nearest town, Ryan concocts a plan to turn the men against each other so he can escape. There are some similarities to Along the Great Divide with the villain talking and irritating the men, but if I'm going to be honest, I think it's done a lot better here. Robert Ryan just gives such a better performance. He is 100% guilty and doesn't care what he has to do to get out of going to jail. He's a ruthless killer with no heart, and it shows. Janet Leigh does a good job as Ryan's girlfriend, but wait a second. Robert Ryan and Janet Leigh. Deja vu. Anyways, the best performance is easily from Jimmy Stewart. We all know him as the goody two-shoes leading man in Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, the Philadelphia Story, and It's a Wonderful Life. But here, he's a heartless man who will do anything to get his bounty, and you can tell he means business. He's never soft-spoken. Every line is shouted and spoken with lots of anger. He plays such a good anti-hero that it's no wonder people rave about his performance in this. He deserves all the praise he gets. The best scenes in the film are between him and Ryan. Both are smart men trying to get the upper hand, and it's riveting every time the two are face to face with each other. After watching this, it's easy to see that director Anthony Mann had a background in film noirs because most of these characters are not characters you'd usually see in a Western. I always said that this story is so good you could probably change the setting to a more modern environment and it would still work. Because in essence, it's about man's struggle with greed and how some people will be poisoned by it and some will poison others with it. It's weird because I drastically get different reactions from people about this movie. Either classic film fans will have heard of it and say it's a really famous Western, or they'll never have heard of it, but be curious to watch it. If you're either of these people and are still wondering about the film, watch it. It truly is a great Western, and hopefully in the future, everyone will be the kind of person who says it's a really famous Western.